have it.
My name is Mario Iannuzzi, and I am on Team Canada for Foosball. I'm going to France. We're going to represent our country there for the World Cup. It's basically a game with 4 rods on each side, and you're trying to score the ball into the opponent's net. It's kind of like miniature soccer on a table. And it's a lot about strategy, skill, and reflexes. It kind of incorporates everything about a game that should be there. The crowdfunding campaign is something Team Canada put together this year to try to draw funds to support our team. So this trip is going to cost each player roughly $2,000. Some of our best players right now can't actually make it because of the huge financial involvement. So the crowdfunding campaign is our effort to try to get Canadians to support us and see that we're representing their country. Here on this table, we got some of the top players in Canada right now. So on the other side, playing goalie, there's Mario Originello. And playing with him is Adrian Lee, one of the women's team members. And playing with me here is Sean Lee, who's co-captain of the men's team.
This is one of my favorite shots. This is considered the Euro pin. What it is you have the control of the ball underneath the foot of your man. You just kind of ease off the ball and you shoot it.
So foosball is actually a lot more popular in Europe than it is in North America. There's a lot more of a younger crowd thing kind of going on there. You know, for example, Germany has something like 6,000 registered foosball players in their database, and they run twice a week leagues and things like that. In Canada, it's a bit smaller. We have something like 1,000 players that compete on a regular basis.
But I'm going to demonstrate shooting into the far corner.
I would say our player base in Toronto alone over the last couple of years has grown probably twice as big, just because we're sort of at a location now and we're drawing players in and showing them how to play. And the World Cup thing is a big draw. Like, it's kind of an aspiration for players that are beginning.
Today I'm going to show you guys one of my favorite shots, and that's called a slingshot. You just kind of move the ball around and at one point bring the ball and hit it off the wall and then hit the ball in. The
US is actually a really big powerhouse. They're sending all of their top players this year, so it's kind of like the NBA all-star lineup. This is the shot that usually gets the most people attention because it's fairly fast and it's very different. Nobody ever really sees it in recreational play. I've been playing sort of recreationally since I was about 2 years old. My dad sort of built a table and we sort of played as a family, cousins and uncles and stuff, every couple of weeks, just for fun. And it was a lot of good memories back then, just playing with our fathers against their kids and just having a lot of fun together. I started playing competitively when I was about 19 and went to university and found some guys in a bar, and I said, oh, I can probably beat these guys. I've been playing a long time, I know how to play. And then quickly got my butt handed to me. But I kind of got hooked like that because I wanted to learn how to play better, and so I kept coming out and kept getting beat until I started beating people and, feeling like I knew what I was doing a bit more. My dad actually passed away in '99, so sometimes I actually try to stop to think of what he would think of what I've been doing with foosball, because he passed away before I started doing all this tournament stuff. I'd like to think that he'd see what I've been doing and be proud that he sort of got me into it. I would go home every day after work or school or whatever it was, and I'd get on my table and practice drills by myself for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it was. It does get kind of tiring and gets in your head a little bit, but you want to be able to play with consistency and play with confidence, and just like any other sport, play without worrying about what you're doing and focus on what the other person is doing. I'm wearing the Canadian colors proudly when I go over there, and I'm always happy when people recognize that I'm from Canada and representing Canada. And so it's good to sort of put our best foot forward and show that Canada has competitive players. A couple of the worst injuries I've seen in the last year, one was at the World Cup last year actually. One of the American players broke his pinky finger, I think it was. My personal worst was probably something close to a sprain while I was playing. So there's a lot of kind of repetitive stress stuff. When you figure that we're playing sometimes from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. straight, it gets pretty tiring for 4 days at a time, right? Things like that.
And And if you get older, not saying who might be, but if you get older, you got to manage your body a little bit more intelligently. Don't just go to these tournaments. Usually there's a lot of drinking involved. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but
Enough.
some drinking involved. But as you get older, it tends to affect your game. And if your reflexes slow down even 10%, that's often the difference between a loss and a win.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. We hope you learned some stuff about foosball. It was a great fun doing this, and if you have any more questions, you can find us on Facebook at Canada Foosball. We'd appreciate any support you could give, of course, and we're gonna do our best to make you guys proud out there representing Canada.